In this free presentation, I'm going to show you how you can change your body and your life with intermittent fasting. Why intermittent fasting? Well, it's simple. Because it works, and it works for the long term. And aren't long-term results what we all really want? Yeah, I think they are. Look, the issue that prevents most would-be dieters from seeing long-term weight loss results, it's not their metabolism or their genetics. Rather, it's usually a matter of diet compliance. Can you actually stay on the diet long enough to see results? Alright, so what is intermittent fasting? Okay, well let's start off with my simple definition of fasting. The act of willingly abstaining from some or all food, and in some cases drink, for a predetermined period of time. Okay, so the key word here, a couple of them. Intermittent simply means that you fast in an on and off fashion. You could choose to fast once or twice a month, once or twice a week, every other day, or even every single day. Fasting is the simplest method our body has for maintaining its calorie balance. Store a little energy when we eat in excess, burn a little energy when we don't eat. It's as simple as that. Here's another fact. Fasting is a very simple approach to getting and staying lean that revolves around the idea that it's okay to take occasional break from eating every now and again. Because really that's all we're doing, occasional breaks from eating. Now, intermittent fasting is a style of eating where you perform a short-term fast, followed by a period of eating, followed by more fasting. Now, me personally, through my research, I found that 24 hours is the most practical form of intermittent fasting for the purpose of losing body fat while maintaining lean muscle. However, there is still benefits of fasting for as little as 12 hours, and sometimes even for as long as 72 hours. But for most people, 24 hours is a good target, especially when performed once or twice a week. That's the sweet spot. Truth be told, intermittent fasting isn't as rare or unique as you might think. An amazing amount of people are using it to lose weight. Now, they're not just losing weight. They're getting other really cool benefits too. For one, the weight loss is from their body fat. And that's very important because losing body fat is associated with a whole host of positive health improvements, including decreased inflammation. Eating less and losing body fat decreases the inflammation in your body. And low-grade chronic inflammation, I believe, is going to be the health topic of the future. Bottom line is that inflammation, especially when left unchecked, is associated with a whole host of diseases. And inflammation can be reduced by reducing body fat and eating less through intermittent fasting. You can also improve your metabolic profile by fasting once or twice a week. And you can improve insulin sensitivity, which is so important in so many people these days. Lastly, a reduced need for obsessive compulsive eating. With intermittent fasting, you take your weekly dieting and you chunk it into 1 or 2 days per week, which means on the other days, you can eat sensibly, but eat in the style you enjoy, eating the foods you like. Being in a fasted state for short periods of time, again we're talking 12 to 72 hours, will not decrease your resting metabolic rate. This is true for both men and women, young and old, obese and lean. Your resting metabolic rate, meaning the amount of calories you burn without exercise, remains stable even after 72 hours of not eating. I discussed the research that shows us that the combination of caloric restriction, fasting, with resistance exercise, lifting weights, has been proven to be very effective at preserving your muscle mass. We know for sure that 24 hours of fasting is not associated with any giant drops in testosterone. And the fact that short-term fasting does not decrease testosterone is important for two big reasons. Firstly, it's an important step in preventing any loss of muscle mass. And secondly, testosterone plays an important role in fat loss, as do the next couple hormones we're going to talk about. So, another anabolic hormone that actually has potent fat loss effects is growth hormone, otherwise known as GH. Many people think that GH is only secreted at night, or that's only responsible for linear growth, how tall you become. But nothing could be farther from the truth. One of growth hormone's most important roles in your body is allowing fat loss to occur. In order for you to lose your body fat, a couple things need to happen. Your fat must be released from its storage spot, our body fat, transported through our system in our blood, and get to a cellular engine where it's burned as a fuel source Typically this is in your muscles or organs. Once this fat is burned, it's gone forever. Obviously the most important step in this whole process is your fat needs to be released from the prison that's your body fat. For fat to be released from your fat stores, two things have to happen. Insulin levels must be decreased, and growth hormone levels must be increased. So how do you boost your GH levels so your fat can be released? Fasting, of course. Fasting for as little as 24 hours has been shown to drastically reduce your insulin levels while increasing your growth hormone levels. And it is this growth hormone response to fasting that also makes sure you don't lose any muscle while you fast. The increase in growth hormone is a protective response that makes sure that you burn excess body fat while you're fasting as a way to preserve your muscle mass. To be clear, in as little as 12 to 14 hours of fasting, your fat burning increases, helping your body use body fat as a fuel. And between 14 and 18 hours, fat burning starts to skyrocket. By 24 hours, you're burning almost all body fat as a fuel source. The thing I gotta point out here is, just like any other day in your life, you're gonna have good days and bad days when you're fasting. Just like you have good days and bad days when you're not fasting. Here's the beauty of Eat Stop Eat. I want you to always be flexible and roll with it. If you're having a horrible fast, stay flexible. You can always stop your fast and try it again a little later on when you're feeling better. You do not have to be rigid with your fasting. So from this simple review of the research behind Eat Stop Eat, we can see that intermittent fasting won't decrease your metabolism, it won't cause you to lose precious muscle mass, you're not going to see episodes of low blood sugar, and well, you're going to have good days and bad days with fasting. Hopefully you have way more good days than you do bad days. Fasting will cause you to lose body fat, and as long as you don't go crazy with how much you eat on the days you're not fasting, this fat loss will be as permanent as fat loss can be. The key to successful intermittent fasting is to fast in a way that allows you to still fuel your workouts and be flexible with your day-to-day life. I like to think of it as making your diet fit into your life as opposed to making your life fit into your diet. It's designed so you can fast for 24 hours once or twice a week while still never going a day without eating. My goal is to help people get very lean while eating so clean. Lots of fruits, veggies, and the occasional Cinnabon or chocolate chip cookie. And here's something that's really important, and it ties into everything we're talking about. With Eat Stop Eat, there's no mandate to stop eating the foods you love. Here's a really cool thing about fasting and food. Many people report that food actually tastes better after a fast. So that's just another small win for us. In fact, of all the different ways in which you fast, I believe Eat Stop Eat takes the best advantage of the intermittent part of intermittent fasting. It is a highly adaptable aspect of Eat Stop Eat that allows people to use it to lose weight, and it's what allows them to keep the weight off for years afterwards. You can always find a way to fit in 1 or 2 24-hour fasts in a week. And like I said before, don't worry if you can't fast for a full 24 hours every time. I'll be honest, 24 hours was chosen through my research simply because it was an easy time frame to remember, allowed people to eat every day, and was suitable for all different levels of body fat and weight loss needs. There is still benefit to fasting for 16 hours, just as there's no real harm to fasting for 30 hours. The point is, as long as you're fasting intermittently, while keeping your lifestyle flexible and doing what works for you, you're doing Eat Stop Eat and you're doing it right. So think along the lines of using intermittent fasting as a long-term strategy to help you get lean quickly, but also as a way to stay lean. That's Eat Stop Eat. When done properly, Eat Stop Eat can even work while you sleep, and that's cool. Best of all, this fat loss is not associated with muscle loss. Lose fat, keep muscle, all while doing nothing. It doesn't get much easier than this. No cooking, no eating, no worrying about what you're going to eat and when you're going to eat. Let's face it, removing this food thinking is a big chunk of stress that's just removed from your day. And you're burning body fat. So less stress, less thinking, less body fat. So, do you want to know how to fast and you don't care about the research or frequently asked questions or tips how to make Eat Stop Eat work for you? Then all you need is this presentation.